today's cup of coffee, you could call this sort of like coming attractions if you wanted to.
What?
It's ponderings. It's a prequel in
what
some ways.
What was that word that you just said?
I don't know.
What? The first thing that came out of your mouth already. What?
I will have to go back and listen. You act like I listen to me. You act like I listen to me.
I would hope you listen to the words that come out of your face.
Some days and some days not. And today is a not. You talk about that dog having the bones or no bones day.
Yeah,
so
no bones day.
I can have brain and no brain days.
That's the bones or no bones days. You leave those be.
Now, this is a matter of, can't promise that this will start tomorrow, but in the near future, as far as cups, because it's a matter of exploring what is reality.
Oh, yes, we love those mind-breaking ones.
And to start with a quote from Mark Twain. I loved Mark Twain. If you've never read any of his work, please go back and read it because it's amazing.
I've honestly never read it.
Oh, my favorite was A Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court.
What?
Yes.
Repeat that for me.
A Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court.
Okay, Connecticut Yankee. That's
yes, because dude was, you could have realized Mark Twain was extremely Southern. Extremely. And so, as far as that being a term, and that the main character had been transported back in time. It's been years since I've read this, so I can't remember exactly how he got into King Arthur's court, but he did. It was a time traveling thing.
Okay.
Because Mark Twain was extremely creative. I agree with everything that he said, especially his views on religion, because I think that he was another one that was very wounded by religion. And, there's a difference between that and spirituality. And he points out the hypocrisy, which I can't fault him for that. Nobody ever explained to him, or he didn't have an experience in the way that he understood. But a lot of the other stuff, he just nailed it. And that's like today's quote, "I've lived through some terrible things in my life, some of which actually happened."
Yeah.
And it's
a
like
lot of the stuff like that, a lot of stuff people just, imagine in their heads.
Sure. Potentially
bad situations.
Sure. We mind fuck ourselves. And then we have external forces that help with that.
One thing I learned in beauty school, they ingrained this in our heads. Perception is reality.
Yeah. Yeah. But what if your perception is altered?
Oh, you can't fight with someone on that. Seriously.
No, you can't. No, you can't. And that was the basis of the research. This is another one that's days, not only that, years of, practical experience dealing with people that have had moderate to severe, it wasn't, plaque psoriasis, moderate to severe mental illnesses.
Yeah.
And then people within the spiritual communities. And that it's interesting because when I have had spiritual experiences, most people thought that I had lost my mind. There were times that I thought that I had lost my mind.
I feel like I'm losing my mind right now with this tooth.
Yeah, the kid had more dental work today, and it's hitting high, and his bite is off. So if you hear this subtle clacking in the background, that's him trying to adjust to the new alteration of his mouth, how it feels.
Like, that's the only tooth that's hitting at the moment when I just...
Right. Well, you can call them and they can grind that back down. I've got a Dremel.
Don't tempt me. Don't tempt me.
No, do not do your own dental work.
Be your own dentist, Katya. I will do that gladly.
No.
I will be my own dentist
It's
gladly.
like our buddy Omega.
I will rip my own teeth out if I have to.
Our buddy Omega has done his own dental work before. He's done other people's dental work before.
Grab a wrench and get some whiskey. There you go.
He's a wizard. He can do. We're convinced he can do damn near anything. He truly can. So
I'm not joking. I will go get that.
No, don't do that, because if you slip, then that's one more trip to the dentist to correct what you did.
I got 5 more left. What more?
5 more trips, not 5 more teeth. You have to quantify.
5 more trips.
But that goes along with psyching yourself out. And that kid has not had a horrible experience at this dental office. In fact, he's had some very pleasant ones. And yet brain goes back to the what ifs. Have you ever had a horrible experience at the dentist before?
Yes. That woman who decided to put that cold ass Q-tip on my tooth and was like, I'm just going to leave it. Fuck you. You just put me in severe pain for like 3 hours after that.
Right. And this, again, that was her perception. It's like, oh, this can't possibly hurt.
I hurt.
Absolutely.
I hurt.
Absolutely.
I flinched hard when she did that too. I'm like,
right. And that's really tragic. And I think
don't you touch my fucking teeth again, bitch.
That's why we took you someplace else.
That's why.
I think that, there's a lot of times people that have...
That ain't perception. That is reality.
There's people that have sadistic tendencies or are full-blown sadists.
Dentists, nurses, doctors, cops.
We were talking about that earlier. Why do different people choose different careers? And so again, perception. What can you do? What are you supposed to do? How are you supposed to do it? And where the last thing, and it has been an ongoing theme throughout my life, whether I wanted it to be or not, as far as the mental health and perception and reality and what defines that. And that's the reason the folks, you guys who have tried substances, that is why we are not going to judge you.
Yeah.
Because, and God loving Green Jay, the experiences, I think he was using DMT, just amazing.
Mm.
And I appreciated him sharing that.
I wonder
I've
what it's
mentioned that
like
before, but it was just incredible.
I wonder what it's like to experience DMT.
I don't know, because my mind is so bizarre as it is. It may bring me peace. I don't know. Because my brain is busy all the time.
Go into one of those testing centers. There you go.
Well, I don't know.
Test out DMT. I'll do it for some cash.
If it were a controlled environment, that would be okay. I wouldn't mind doing that. Mm-hmm. I don't want to be at random person's house and then start freaking out. That would be bad.
Yeah, no.
I would like to know whether or not they have some kind of counter agent if somebody is having a bad experience. And that was just, why do we feel the need to medicate some people? Are the medications appropriate? Can they cause more harm than good?
Oh, yeah, some of them can.
Absolutely. Absolutely, they can. And it was just like we were talking about Haldol, which sometimes there is the need to restrain someone. Mm. And it's better than it used to be within the mental health field. Right. Because, they don't just put somebody in a straitjacket randomly. I don't even know that they have those anymore. They do have what are called 4-point restraints. Mm-hmm. But that is in very severe cases. If somebody is a threat to themselves or other people, you've got to do something.
Yeah.
There is something that is called chemical restraint, and that is where they use medications to basically sedate and or tranquilize somebody. Mm-hmm. Haldol is one that is commonly used, and I have seen that have the exact opposite effect on some people, and it made them worse.
Shit.
Yeah. So, because one size does not fit all.
What'd they do?
Oh, they became more aggressive, more psychotic. That's not something you want to encourage.
No, not at all.
So, and there were times there have been places that they would put them in the room, just the bare naked mattress on the floor, light to where there's, like 15, 20 foot from the floor, and let them yell or scream or, whatever, beat the doors, beat their head, whatever. That's why they have the padded rooms, is hopefully so that they do not harm themselves horribly.
Horribly.
Because when somebody is in that type of state, do they know what they're doing? Are they aware? Are they in control? Are they out of control? Is it a mental health crisis? Is it a spiritual crisis? For me, I don't know that you can separate spiritual from mental. Really don't. So what is reality?
That's what we'll get into the next video too.
Oh yeah. Well, it may not be tomorrow because we have another really busy day, but it's upcoming. But questions. Why is it that the brain tends towards negative experiences rather than positive experiences? Why is it trauma memories stick with us better than happy memories? Which can perpetuate the gaslighting of self.
Yeah.
This happened once, so therefore it's always going to happen, even though...
It's only happened once.
Right, the once.
I think it's because it was so bad to us in that moment that it does just,
The woundedness.
And it wounds us so bad.
Sure, we have walking wounded everywhere.
Oh, yeah, we do.
And, and it's getting worse. And the judgmental attitude of, this person is doing this. This person looks like this. They act like this. So therefore they are.
No.
What you're seeing a lot of times are symptoms. And it's just like we were discussing earlier today, individual that I had subscribed to and canceled my subscription this evening and explained.
Can we say who?
No. I'm not going to give him publicity. Nope. But it's like this person was very judgmental of others. It was always about physical appearance. Don't mention names.
If you have to pick on people's appearances every single video, and that's basically the majority of the video, you ain't got shit to say.
You're right.
You ain't got nothing good to add to the conversation, so step the fuck out.
Right.
Because guess what? That's too easy. That is too easy of a target to pick on, and most of the time, it's not anything that they can help.
Right.
So why the fuck is that even fair?
It's not fair.
It's not. So leave it the fuck alone.
Well, again, don't. And your perception, somebody thinks that they know somebody because of their physical appearance. That is not so.
Well, guess what? My perception of him, that's not just my perception. That is reality, that he's an asshole.
Well, that's true. That is his behavior. That is his behavior towards others. The thing that angered me most is the fact that, this individual is surrounded by yes people and that they take part of it. And the one gentleman that either is or was at one point a youth minister. And I'm
yet
thinking,
he's doing this?
Anytime that you call yourself a Christian and that you are behaving in anything other than a Christian manner, that whole thing, I don't want this to turn into one of my ministry videos. It's like, it says that man looks on the outside, but God looks on the heart. So if you're not doing that, if you're putting somebody down instead of lifting them up or talking with them instead of talking at them, how is that bringing glory to Christ? It doesn't. That's driving people away from Christ.
I'm going to abbreviate their names. So if
you're dying to, but like I said, it's going to cause publicity. It's a Streisand effect. C
is no better in my eyes than E. or K.
Okay.
Those two people, horrible. He's no better than those two.
Well, I think it's one of those...
They all need to fucking just go away.
When you've got, and we have a world right now that is, like I said, it is a matter of gaslighting ourselves. Other people gaslighting us don't make the enemy's job easier. Nobody's totally right and nobody's totally wrong.
He's wrong most of the time.
Well, it's a matter of if you sit down and it's like, okay, what can you explain to me how you came to have these beliefs? Can you explain to me how you came to have this perception?
And I bet you anything, he would not be able to tell you.
Well, it's not just
or
him,
he would not be
anybody.
he would not be willing to tell you.
Well, it's because his definition of what is beauty. And that's, Kid and I were talking earlier today, that is one of the things about a lot of us that is the essence of goth. Doesn't matter whether we got the eyeliner or whatever shit going on. Anyhow, that's not it.
We aren't much to look at, but damn it, we have hearts.
That's it. And it is...
That's all that matters.
It's almost like... what's the word I'm trying to think of? Making oneself... It is a question of what is beauty, such as what is reality.
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, whatever the fuck. No.
But it's also a matter of... That essence of goth is finding what others consider repulsive, to find the beauty in that. Now, this is going to exclude the people that's just doing it for the fashion statement, because that ain't goth. No more than this person was Christian who is criticizing others about their physical whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And there is this little piece, well, it's more than a little piece. There is a part within me that's like, God, let these people experience for a while some of the things that they're complaining about other people, in a hope of them developing empathy.
Yeah.
Because that is something that can definitely change your perspective and your perception. When you truly do try to walk a mile in someone else's shoes.
Yeah.
To share someone else's reality, their version of reality. And to do that with respect. You know, if your own belief system, if your own understanding of reality is that fragile, and that includes spiritual beliefs, then you have no basis for your belief.
No. Absolutely not.
If you can't listen to somebody else that has a different opinion, and that's going on across our world, and it's this narcissistic attitude of I'm right, so therefore you must be wrong,
and
which
not
is
only
bullshit.
That, their own beliefs are so fragile, they could not dare.
No. And this is not just this one individual.
It's many.
I actually was doing the study on what is reality for a couple of days, because sometimes I'll roll this around in my mind for a while and read different sources. You know, you've got the mental health group that they think it's one thing. The medical group thinks it's another thing. The spiritual group thinks it's yet another thing. Yeah. So what is the nature of reality? And this is where we want your
apparently chaos.
Well, and that's where you get in as far as like kickstand, because chaos. It is. If you would listen to that, you don't have to go in there, but it is a matter of chaos. And as far as the origin of Pepe and stuff, and part of it's tongue in cheek, but if you listen to some of it, it really does have value. Even if someone's reality is not the same as yours, can you learn from them?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well.
Sometimes.
Sure.
I have learned nothing from he who will not be named.
It's interesting, because sometimes we wonder why our worlds are not as we would have them.
Mm-hmm.
But from my observations, which are as valid as anybody else's, regardless of whether I have certain specific letters after my name or not, the people that have had an easy journey have a tendency to be superficial and shallow.
That's all they've known. That's all they ever will know most of the time.
And that they think that they have done something right.
But the thing is, even if they like lost everything and dropped down to our level or whatever, they would still think they are better than everyone else. They really would.
See, this is where people don't understand the word humility. It means they think it's somehow, putting yourself down. No, that word actually means you don't think you're better than anybody else, but you don't think you're worse than anybody else.
Yeah.
It is a matter of understanding that you, in and of yourself, have value. That you, in and of yourself, are worthy to be loved. Mm-hmm. That's the message. It's simple.
That's like I told the dentist and her nurse, because I was telling them about my art. I'm like, I'm not the best artist in the world, but I'm not the worst. I'm just somewhere in the middle ground, and that's okay. I'm good.
Who determines what is the best and what is the worst?
Like, I consider, like, Mark Ryden's stuff, like, really, really
That's
good.
His
like,
work.
Best work.
That's his work. You do your work. Nobody else can do. They can do similar, but it's still, that is specific and unique to you.
Well, so still the thing of humility. Like, I'm not saying, like, oh, I'm as good as Mark Ryden, but I'm also not saying, like, I'm horribly bad. Like, stick figure only type of drawings. But some people can do amazing shit with stick figures. Like, yeah.
And that was one of the things as far as counseling, trying to get people past those personal lies that at some point somebody had implanted in their brain, or they had inferred that was reality. Mm-hmm. And it's like, look, if you can hold a pencil, I don't care if you can have to hold the pencil in your teeth, you can do something. Joni Eareckson was amazing. Are you familiar with her?
No.
She actually became a quadriplegic through a skiing accident. She painted using the paintbrush in her teeth. Yeah.
I was thinking about the people who were like had no arms or whatever, and so they shot arrows with their feet.
Yeah.
Perfectly.
Yeah. So what is reality? Who is the judge of reality? Why do some people think that their reality is more valid than the reality of others?
Exactly.
So we're going to be delving into some of these.
The only time I actually judge someone is if their vibe is off. If their energy is off to me, I try to be like, maybe you're not the type of person I should be with.
Well, that's not even a judging them. That's going, something does not resonate and I need to get away from it.
Yeah.
That's paying attention to that inner voice. So that's smart. That's not judgmental. It's really not.
That's like that woman that I used to, work with at the burger joint. Mm-hmm. She was the cook. I loved her. She looked like a bitch. She acted like a bitch, though. She didn't mean to. That was just how she was, because she was rough. She grew up in a rough thing. But I loved her. She was lovely to talk to.
But she also was in physical pain.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why it's like she'll tell you, like, she's a bitch, but she's honestly not a bitch.
Right.
She's really not. She's not a mean-spirited person whatsoever.
Right.
She's just had a rough life. She hurts. She's tired. That's it. She just wants to be left alone a lot of the time.
And that people had judged her just because that she may have had a certain expression that they interpreted as being a certain way.
Yeah, and she speaks a certain way, whatever. It's like,
most of us in this area speak this way, Clay.
I don't understand. Like, people get offended because people, cuss all the time. Even if it's not, cussing them out, they're just cussing in general. For some reason, people get offended by just cussing in general. It's like, why?
That's because they have no understanding about how some of these words became deemed as improper and uncouth. Mm-hmm. I've actually done the research of why some of these words came to be demonized. And it's actually hilarious. And then you've got people that that's like, I'm better than because I don't say shit. I would rather hear someone say shit than feces. Sorry, folks, for that are having
I would
breakfast.
rather any curse word than any legitimate medical term.
I like the medical terms, but if you go back...
No.
You go back to the
some
Latin...
Some of them are just fucking gross.
If you go back to the Latin, you're sitting there going, oh, okay, this makes perfect sense. Because it does.
Some of them just sound unpleasant.
They do sound unpleasant, but it's like go back and find out the true meaning of words, how they came to mean what they mean, how those meanings have changed. Same thing with reality. Because what was acceptable 100 years ago, 1,000 years ago, today people are like, okay, that's not. Who said?
Yeah.
Don't hurt yourself, don't hurt other people. That's it, basis. Mm-hmm. But to explore the nature of reality on several different levels.
And if you have a certain belief about something, if they want to know, go ahead and share it with them.
Well, if you're comfortable.
Yeah, if you're comfortable sharing it with them. That's what I said. If they want to know and you're comfortable with it, go ahead. But if they don't want to know and they are telling you, I don't want to know, and you're still shoving it down their throat, stop it. Leave them be.
Right. Don't waste your time and theirs. So
don't cast your pearls before swine.
Right. The reason for this prequel coming events is we want your all's input because we value those of you who take the time to listen to us. We want to hear what you say. If you're not comfortable using the comment section, and God love you, you folks on BitChute, I can understand why you're not comfortable using the comment sections because some of those people, I don't know what the problem is there. But anyhow, that can be a problem. That's the email address. Mm-hmm. We do want to understand what your perception of reality is, what your definition of reality is, the experiences you may have had with altered states of reality. And that, like I said, that can be with or without substances. Mm-hmm. We don't judge. If you've had mental health issues where you were delusional or whatever, share those with us. We're not judging anybody.
Right.
They're fascinating.
Yeah.
When I would talk to people who were schizophrenic, now if somebody's psychotic, you ain't going to have like a lengthy conversation.
No.
But the schizophrenics a lot of times were just fascinating. You know, and to see how the brain worked or how their brain worked. Mm-hmm. And, you know, the mental thing, it only becomes an illness when it impairs your ability to function and have a good life. That's the illness part.
Yep.
So that's what we got coming down the pike. We've got other things that, as far as today was a rough day mentally, physically, and spiritually for us. Tomorrow we have a really, really busy schedule again. I'm hoping to start on this, but if not, we'll have some little filler something.
I'm going to file my tooth down. I'm going to file my tooth down.
So, yeah, that's what we got in store. We do these, you know, coming events.
Yes, barring unforeseen.
Yeah, because some of these can be kind of intense. And on some of them, if we go really in depth, we will not break the flow and try to put that into 2 different videos. You're forewarned. You're forewarned.
Yes.
So if you've had experiences with paranormal, supernatural encounters with UFOs, aliens, cryptids, again, those altered states of reality, if you've got local, regional, family, myths, legends, what have you, cupofcoffeewithscream@gmail.com. Mm-hmm. And yeah, you all are valuable to us.
Yes.
And you all are loved.
Mm-hmm. Y'all are. And if you like this video, don't forget to like, share, comment, and most of all, subscribe and click that little notification button for daily notifications of our daily uploads. Thank you all. Have a good.
I was waiting for that. We'll see you on the next cup. Bye.
Oh, this tooth. Oh, where's that damn nail file Dremel thing?